What was going on in Texas? I mean, that's bizarre. Like
amazing. A big high-pressure dome sat over the top of it, and it just sucked up all the high.
I mean, it's barely March. That's incredible.
It is incredible.
It's always those high-pressure systems, it seems, that throws things off.
Cause everybody a problem.
Thank you, Steve. Well, music enjoyment is taking on a whole new dimension. Now you can see as well as hear the sounds. How? Well, as high-tech reporter Richard Hart explains, the next step in music is a device that turns sounds into pictures on TV.
You're listening to something by Johann Sebastian Bach. Now, if you're a performer, this sheet music means something. But if you're a listener, even if you look carefully, it's difficult to tell the relationship between the instruments and the structure. Now, watch this. This is a new form of music notation called music animation. It operates on an IBM-compatible computer and was developed by a music educator at the University of California.
If you asked a scientist to sit down and design music notation, they'd probably come up with something like this, and which wouldn't be good for performers at all, because one thing that this doesn't have is figuring out which pitch is which. You can't look at that and say, I know that's a middle C.
But it's fun and educational for music listeners, and that's for whom the music animation machine was designed. When virtually any kind of music is played back through the machine, it appears on a television screen as a field of dashes. The longer the note, the longer the dash. The higher the note, the higher the dash. The faster the tempo, the faster it all scrolls by. It all seems so simple. Each color can represent a different instrument. Here, you don't hear the blue notes yet, but you know they're coming. And here they are. The new system will never replace sheet music. Performers still need that. But those of us who like to listen might take note. In Berkeley, Richard Hart, News Center 4.
I guess that's active listening, huh?
Yeah, it seems silly, but you start watching it.
Yes,
it's
you do.
Mesmerizing.
Because it matches what you're hearing,
Right,
sort of. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Well, coming up on News Center 4 at 11 o'clock, reaction to the LA police beating story that captured on tape that you saw earlier. And Richard Hart shows us a whole new way to look at music in his Next Step report tonight.
When we come back, the storm aftermath in the High Sierra and all over Northern California. We will tell you about the good and the bad.
And a bit later, Richard Hart will tell you about, well, it's a high-tech look at the sound of music is what it is.
When we come back, Steve Raleigh joins us with a tamer forecast for the next few days.
And in our Next Step report, Richard Hart shows us a high-tech visual way to see the music.